Hi, I'm Rhonda Hill, founder and director of Race and Faith, joined by.
Pardeep, Not in Our Town.
What do you do for Not in Our Town?
I'm the co-director of Not in Our
Okay,
Town.
cool. And we wanted to make sure we engaged you and your families in this conversation about interfaith and interfaith understanding. As you've watched us try to have these conversations with our children, we're hoping this will help you to do the same with your own. What was that like for you, Pardeep?
Yeah, it was, it's kind of natural. Rohan and I and the kids talk a lot about faith and the role of faith within people's lives. We think that sometimes it's one of those things that we don't intentionally talk about, but sometimes kind of talk about in a roundabout way. So I think this morning, this Sunday morning, we were on our way to his basketball game, and he asked some questions about how other people navigate their life, and yeah, it was really easy to kind of have that conversation. So yeah, having that conversation with him for us felt easy.
Yeah, for me, it just made me think about how I've not ever really explicitly had the conversation about faith and other people's faith with Josiah. And so, sitting here with him and getting his thoughts about who's Christian for him and his worldview, um, most of our friends are thinking that most of our friends are Christian.
Yeah.
Um, and not really getting that is different ideologies, different belief systems, different ways of seeing God. Some people don't even believe that there is a God or not even monotheistic.
Sure.
Not having ever had that explicit conversation with him was interesting, just to sit and engage with him and kind of see where he was at, and also made me as a parent think about what more I need to do,
Right.
and what I think I want him to think is important, which is that
Yeah.
piece about, are we respecting each other? Are we loving each other?
Yeah.
Which for me is most important, and I think central to interfaith understanding.
Yeah.
Um, how did you see it?
When I think about it, I think about it from a very like personal place and a communal place, is that I see our children navigating the complex world that they exist in and getting a plethora of information. And for me, I see it as a good source of rooted self-identity, of going into yourself and knowing that, sometimes we all feel lonely. Sometimes we all feel like maybe I am not accepted or loved by the world. And for me, it's important to really give our children the ability to anchor to that love. And so yeah, and the love of others too, the love of, for Rohan and our children, they'll navigate times where they have to like understand other people's identities and religions and ethnicities and cultures and races. So for them to be in the place where they, like you said, like you can see the God in somebody else despite
Yeah.
the differences,
Yeah.
is something very important for him to have.
Yeah. And so I think just today in our world right now, with particularly in the United States,
Yeah.
just so much divisive behavior, conversation, the ways in which religion plays a role in that. I feel it's so important for interfaith understanding, to really be highlighted at this time in this space. And for me, um, as a Christian, being able to engage with people of various religious backgrounds, it has not weakened my Christian faith, but has made it, I think, more clear to me, and has shown me the beauty, even more so the beauty of it. And so I'm really hoping that folks that are participating in this series of Something to Say will really get a more profound um, ideas about where they stand, but understanding that having religious differences doesn't have to be like a ending of a relationship,
No.
and so Unfortunately, we have a lot of stressed on Christian nationalism right now, and that importance for some people of seeing this nation as a Christian nation, which
Mm.
we know that it's not.
Yeah.
We have this whole separation of church and state for a reason. But here lately, it seems that this idea of Christian nationalism has been center stage, and it tends to rob us of the beauty of getting to know people of different religious ideologies and backgrounds, and somehow saying that if you're not Christian, then you're not American.
Yeah.
Have you ever faced that
Yeah.
kind of thinking?
Yeah, I think just when we talk about religion right now in 23, we really think about how sometimes religion provides this exclusion of. And for me, it's also very important, Christian nationalism, white nationalism, and what it feels like in this country. It feels like Christ has been hijacked. And Christ has been hijacked by people who are perverting the message of love and inclusion to fit their narrative. And it's important for me to also tell my kids who are not Christian that this is not the Christ we know. The
Yeah.
Christ we know was a loving Christ, a Christ that worked for people and worked through people and really anchored, around inclusion of everyone.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think Christian nationalism right now, as we see the uptick of hate, especially as it is directed towards certain minority populations, we're seeing an uptick in anti-Semitism, and part of that narrative should also scare us to think about, the stabilization of this democracy, because I mean, it is kind of a canary in the coal mine to see any society within the past 100 years and see that uptick in Semitism lets you know that your democracy is not healthy, right? That a certain sect of the population, our brothers and sisters, are being attacked, and it's almost being normalized and mainstreamed
Right.
without intentionally knowing how people are mainstreaming hate.
Right, exactly. And so I think as parents, it's our responsibility to have these conversations with our children, but not only our small children, but our teens, adult children. How do we see ourselves as religious people? And if you're not a religious person, if you don't subscribe to any set of religious beliefs, that's okay too. But we all believe something. How are we talking about that? How are we making sense of it? And more importantly, how are we making room for understanding? And so I want to invite you right now to pause this recording and have a conversation with those you are viewing this with. What role does religious understanding or interfaith understanding have in your life? And how have you seen Christian nationalism at work? And is that beneficial for where we are headed as a society? Is that helpful for our democracy? So pause it and come back to us.
Hey, my name is Pardeep Palika, and I am here with my son Rohan. And we were just discussing about people's faiths and how this time of year we think about the way that people live their life. Hey, Ro, did you know that our friends Rhonda and Josiah are not sick?
No, I did not know.
Did you know that they were Christian?
Nope.
No? So, when you think about somebody not being a sick, can somebody still be a good person?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do we believe when we believe in God?
We believe God's in everybody.
Yeah. And that God created everybody?
Yeah.
So is it important for us to make sure that we show respect to everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you do that?
Really simple things by like not making fun of somebody for what they're wearing, not like closing the door on somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, same. Yeah, I think that's the same way as a lot of people believe, is that through our religions they make us better. and make us better people and kinder and nicer to each other. Well, thank you so much, Ro.
Hi, my name is Rhonda Hill, and I'm joined by my son,
Josiah Hill.
and we thought it important to have conversation today. I realized that we have a lot of interfaith connections, and I hadn't really checked in with my son at all if he knew anything about them. So, Josiah, do you know we have friends that are not Christian?
No.
Oh, what did you think our friends were?
I don't know.
Did you just think everybody was Christian?
Yes.
Because we were? Yeah. You know, one of our good friends is Pardeep, and you like to play with his son, Rohan, right?
Yes.
Did you think they were Christian?
No, I did not.
No, you didn't think they were Christian. Well, what did you think they were?
I don't know.
You don't know. You
I just thought they weren't Christians.
thought they weren't Christians because they are from a different culture?
Yes.
What culture? What culture you think they're from?
Indian?
Yeah, they are Indian. Does it matter that they're not Christian? Can you still be friends with them?
Yes.
Yeah. Why can we still be friends with them?
Even though they're not Christian, they can still be friends.
We can still be friends with them. Yes. We can still be friends with them because we don't need all of our friends to think how we think or to believe what we believe. But we do need our friends to respect us and love us. Do you feel respected by them?
Yes.
You feel loved by them?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that works. But we can also, I think, take more time to learn more about them. So I think that we should spend a little bit more time getting to know more about what they believe and what they think, because that's us actually being respectful of them too. Not only just them thinking and knowing what we believe, but we take time to actually understand what they believe. So how about we do that? What you feel about that?
Yes.
It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So we want to invite you and your family. Perhaps you have little one like I do, or maybe teenagers, or perhaps you even have adult relationships and you haven't taken out the time to really talk to them more about their own religious beliefs and ideas. It's important to share and exchange in relationship with other people who are from different backgrounds from us. But it also means so much more when we actually take the time to get to know and listen to people share about what they think and what they believe, and not just make assumptions. Like I was leaving my son to make assumptions that all of our friends are perhaps somehow Christian, or not even take out the time to even think about what he thought about the other people in our lives. So I invite you to do the same.